What's going on YouTube? Is Donnie B all day. Check it out, guys. I have something for you that you have been waiting for. People are clamoring at the door to find a review on one of these knives. This is a generic piece of crap. Oh man, I know what you're thinking. We finally have the gold standard of crap. So basically, this right here is one of those, you're driving down the road and you find one of those little stores in the middle of nowhere, or you're on vacation and it's one of those goofy little gas station shops, and you always find those knives. Sometimes they have people's names on them, but it's usually in like a plastic bucket full of them for like $1.99, $2.99, things like that. And you think to yourself, why, that sounds like garbage. And for the most part, generally you're right. They are weak, they are flimsy, they are sometimes loose. I mean, this isn't supposed to wiggle like that. It's made of very, very cheap plastic. It's a very thin stainless steel. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's 1.5 millimeters. I have no idea. All I know is it's thin. It's very, very light. It's got no name on it. This was literally sitting in like a plastic fishbowl type thing with, I think it was $4.99. I think that's what this was. It's like a $5 knife. Could have been less, I'm not sure. But basically, can you go to some hole-in-the-wall store or some vacation spot and pay, you know, $2 to $5 on a knife and actually use it as a knife? That's what I want to find out today. That's what I want to help you guys find out. And I can see, like, if you're in a tough spot and maybe you lost your knife and you need a new knife, you need something that, you need something quick or whatever, and you don't want to spend a bunch because you got a better knife at home or you're just not there. Can this do the trick? And guys, it's still a knife. No matter what, it's still a knife. This thing is going to open up packages. It's going to open up, food containers, whatever. But is it going to handle some of the bigger crafts and things to do? It does have on this one a 3/4 serrade. It is a clip point. It is thin. It's got a spine lock here. It does have a thumb stud. I'm lefty. And the thumb stud, I can turn it around if I want. I just haven't. It does have a little tiny lanyard hole right there. Your tensioner is what holds on your deep pocket clip here. So I wouldn't trust taking that apart to switch it over if you really needed to. And actually, as a matter of fact, now that I look at it, you really can't because of that. It's actually built into there. So it is one side only on that. It's as cheap as it could be made. As a matter of fact, I was just looking at this. You can see that little bump right there. That's the spine of the blade to the spine of the lock. So I don't know if that goes, let's see, if that goes flush, almost flush. But usually when this happens, that's supposed to go flush. This one doesn't, but again, you're paying like $5 for one of these guys. So let's make a long story short. Oh wait, I gotta tell you guys about something. Nah. All right, so let's go slice and dice some crap. All right. Okay, so first things first. Is this little guy right here, good enough to slice through this guy right here? Let's find out. Now it is serrated. I don't know how exactly sharp it is. Let's see if we can get some hairs here. I mean, I don't have a lot of hairs to get at, but it's not shave sharp. We got that out of the way. Not shave sharp. But is it aluminum can sharp? Well, I'll tell you what. I hit it on just the end, and I caught it mostly with this this little clip point, the fine edge, and not that serrated part. So let's check out that serrated part here. Let's see. Ooh, all right. It's cutting. It's not cutting great. That's more like pushing. So I mean, look at the size of that cut, how thick that is, because it's just curling due to do the serration. So let me just try the tip here. All right, you know what? That's pretty good. That's actually cutting fairly well. Not great. So you know that you're not getting a supreme cutting blade. The edge profile. All right, well, here's the thing, guys. You see right there, you could actually see a little damaged spot right there in the tip too. You can see that it is grinded right here. Well, because it's a cheap knife, it's only really grinded on one side. So when you're looking at the edge and the edge profile, I don't know if I can get, you see that? It's whoop, one side. So that's why you're not having a shaved sharp edge, because it's not brought to a point, it's brought this way, right? So you have just one edge done, and that's not good for sharpness, but as you can see, it still went through the can. So it's still doing something. Let's test some more. All right, people of mine, here we go. So we're gonna do the standard drop test, see how straight it drops, try to figure out the weight. Is pretty much 50-50 as far as wear on the knife, and it comes, because it's so thin, it comes to a pretty decent point. Well, not really. I was gonna say because it's thin, but if you really look at that tip, I don't know if I'm gonna get it clear enough for you, you can see how blunt it is actually, because it's only shaved to one side. That leaves a pretty fat angle there. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. We're gonna drop it 4 feet, and well, it started leaning to the rear, but it's still catching the tip, and that's good. Now generally this is where I would do a little bit of prying. No, this knife right here would be snap-tastic if I tried prying it. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go right into a couple of downward throws, and that just sounds loose doing it from there. All right, let's see. The bite is not very great. It looked like it was gonna be a lot better. It's okay, but I mean, nothing's loose, nothing feels weird. It's got the same amount of flex and wobble in it as it had when I started. Let's check out some of this here twine. So we got just this, I don't know what that is, nylon twine, whatever, nylon rope, and just using, it's not the best for cutting through. You guys can see what's happening here. I'm putting a bit of muscle into it, and every time I go, more pieces fall, but it's not all falling. So and then so anyway, I saw Nancy at the supermarket, and I said, you know, hey, how are the kids? All right, so finally it went through. Let's try the serrated part, because the actual edge sucked. Let's try this right here. Now normally when you get a serrated blade, this kind of cut right here is going to be easier. Well, it's more like it's untying it more than cutting it. So that's a fail. The serrade is not good for cutting through rope. Let's see how we can use that serrade and real world usage here. And it's taken some wood down, but not in a great way. I'll use just the freaking flat part of this sucks. Not gonna lie to you guys, man. Let's see. Okay, so you obviously to use it for any kind of feather sticking, you're best to use it with the sharpened side up, not down, because down I wasn't getting anything at all. Up, the serrated area did a pretty good job there. Now if I was just going to use the tip, let's see, you can feather stick with the tip pretty well. It's not bad. You're going to get some tight little curlies. Look at that right there. That's not too shabby. So, emergency feather sticking, sure, why not? That'll work. I probably shouldn't try this before we do other testing, but I'm gonna. Let's see. this knife, you can see, guys, this thing is such a piece of crap. You can see the bark is folded in. It didn't cut through the bark. It pushed it in, and it's barely cutting through that. It's a real piece of work right here. I don't know if this is dirt or if it's an actual little chip on the edge. I'm going with a chip because, man, that is not healthy. That is not healthy. I'll tell you what, if you're using it as a rib sticker on a donkey, not a man, if you're using it as a rib sticker for protection, this right here will get the job done. This will definitely do that kind of thing. Just hope you don't hit against a bone too hard, because if so, you might end up losing a part of this blade in there. Overall, I have to say that the little, these little finger grooves right here aren't bad. I've held expensive knives that felt worse in the hand than this does, but it still just feels cheap. I mean, just cheap. It can't baton. It can barely feather stick. It can't cut through twine. Let's see, we got the hard rubber here. I'll go through a nice small part. Oh, all right. So if I push hard enough, I can, just as I say that, it gives me a little bit of trouble. So I have to really, really push to get through. The first time I went through like a needle's thickness of this crap. All right, so I can't cut through rubber hose very good unless it's this thin. Then I can put all the pressure into one area. And of course now it's not doing it. And you can feel it get looser as I do that and put not much pressure on. But so you can cut open letters. You can do a little bit of feather sticking. You can cut meat with it, I'm assuming. It's not going to be a great meat cutter because it's just not that sharp, but I'm assuming you could cut meat. You can't baton, like I said. You can't cut through anything too hard. You're not gonna. You can shave a little bit of wood, but it's not the best for that. That's not going to be an easy go. We can check to see if we can skin with this little bastard, and then obviously we have one more test. So let's go do the last two. All right, so here it is. We are going to attempt to skin with this, and by skin I mean we're just going to see if we can get through just a little panel here. Okay, watch the flex here because I'm using some muscle. Yeah. All right. Can we skin? Nope. Can't skin. It sucks. Man, that's disappointing. I thought that I would have more knife usage out of this thing than I'm actually getting. I thought it was going to perform, because it's still a sharpened edge, I thought it would perform more like a knife than it's actually performing. And you see these everywhere you go. I mean, they are everywhere. You find these things all over the place. Knives just like this. Cheap plastic knives with no name on it in a little bin for next to nothing kind of money. And you're thinking, damn, that's dirt cheap for a little pocket knife. It's a little something I can keep in the car. Yeah, you can. But usually if you're keeping something in the car, if it's not for just personal protection, it's for, okay, if I break down, I have to cut a hose in my car or something like that, I have a little knife to use. This is not going to help you. If you have to cut a little something like that, I'll tell you what, I have that case caliber I keep in my car. Dirt cheap. It looks a lot like this, where it's smaller, but it's got the plastic frame, but it still has a case blade. It's sharp and it cuts through just about anything. I'll tell you what, if you're looking for a cheap car knife, don't waste your money on one of these $5 squeakers. Get yourself a case caliber, because this thing so far absolutely sucks. It sucks. Man, oh, I got a tiny little cool bug right here. Look at that. Ooh, hey, look at that. Wait, where is he? I can't find him. Oh, there he is. He's cool. Let's pick him up. Let's pick him up, because I don't know. It looks like a baby stink bug. No. All right, get off me. All right, so this is my useless videos. You get that, right? Let's go do some more. So this may be my biggest fail when it comes to throwing, because I don't know what this is going to throw like. It's so light, and it might only go one throw, because if I miss, there's a good chance I break it. So let's find out here. Well, it hit dead flat. That means I need to back up a little bit. I was at about 4 yards there. I did not get the rotation I wanted. Uh-oh. I seen something fly off. I wasn't sure if it was knife or bark. Looks like it was bark. This thing's still in one piece. All right, so let's try that again. I'll tell you what, I think that hit some of the blade there. It did. So as far as taking a beating, I gotta say this thing's so far, because I keep hitting a tree with it, it's taking a beating. All right, that hit the blade, but of course it didn't stick. Otherwise I'd be going, look at that, daddy the other day. All right, well, here's some good news. It's stuck in the ground, straight up and down. The blade is all still in one piece. The handle still in one piece. Let's try again. Oh my God, that hit so perfectly in the tip, but it hit up here and it was just so light it fell out. I decided to throw with no rotations. I did a straight throw on that, and just didn't stick. Oh my God, guys, that's 2 in a row. Hit perfect in the edge of the steel. Look at the sap. That's right in the edge. Holy moly. I might have a video where I do not stick it. Oh, just as I say that, the knife says, hell no. Oh, wait, sorry. Donnie B all day, damn it. All right, so that one actually went in there pretty well. That actually buried up to about here, which isn't sad for me. What's sad is that, what it takes, 6 throws somewhere in there? Holy crap. The last couple before that one literally hit in the tip and just said no and fell out. The one before that hit the ground. I can't even get it to stick in the ground. Hit the ground and stuck in. And man, I'll tell you what, finally that last one went. And let's go to the rack, because these skeeters are, my Italian blood is getting absolutely destroyed over here. All right, you bunch of superstars. So here we see this no-name, cheap, $5 bin lockback knife, right? Here's the ultimate question. Is buying a $5 no-name knife worth it for the $5? Will you get $5 worth of knife? My answer is no, and that's to be 100% honest with you guys. My last video, I believe, was the Buckshot Big Chief. That thing I paid under $15 for, under 15, and it is a fantastic little lockback. It's great. For the price, you know, that's 3 of these obviously, but it's so much better. The case caliber is the same exact thing, where it's very, very minimal cost, but you're getting an actual knife. I can line up 10 Frost cutlery knives, or, you know, things like that. And if you go to one of those, you know, websites where you can get deals for knives, where they send you a bulk package or whatever, you can end up getting a bunch of knives for $4 a piece, $3 a piece, that will outshine one of these things all day long. Can you find a knife at $5 that's better? Yeah, I know. I have one coming in that I ordered. It was a misprint. And I ordered it because something on it's wrong. It was printed wrong and something. I don't know what it is yet, because I just said, give me one of those misprints. And that thing was like $6. So for that price, it's going to be, you know, around a $30 valued knife. But because it's misprinted, I'm getting it for a really low price. And when that comes in, I'll do a video and I'll show you guys, and we'll really go over it. But I can guarantee you now that that knife's going to outshine this knife. I mean, by far. I'm talking by far. This is one of those knives. I actually know where I picked this up too. I was at the Army Barracks, which is like an Army Navy store. And where I go and I look at some knives, like it's where I picked up my steel wheel cut jack, which is amazing. I picked up my Ontario Rat 1, which is great. I picked up a few knives there, there's a bunch over time, that are really good knives. And then these have been on the, you know, sitting on the counter right next to the register, like, you know, candy bars at a grocery store, right next to the register. One of those grab it as you leave type things. And I figured, you know what, I've never done a video on a no-name knife. So this was the first time I had a chance to do that. And it's extremely disappointing. I do have a more of a no-name style butterfly knife that I want to get into. It's a generic brand butterfly knife that is one of those ones where I was on Hampton Beach in New Hampshire. I was walking up and down the boardwalk, and there's this cool little leather store, and they sell knives and stuff, and I picked it up, and I think it was $15. And I've had that now for about 4 years. Use it all the time. It's a great butterfly, but it's no name. And it's sometimes you can find a good no name something. But these little guys right here, and they're pretty much the same wherever you go. This is not worth your $5, guys. It is not freaking worth it. But who knows? You know what? Next time I'll bring you something better. This was just something we had to see. We just had to see this. So, I am Donnie B all day. Until next knife.